Oh, it says we're live on Facebook.
Oh,
Maybe it worked. I swear this is like me every week logging in here. All right, let's see if we are really on Facebook. If we are on, say hello. We are so excited to be here with you guys today, even though we didn't know we were on. Just, we're just
Still
keeping.
not sure if we're on.
We're not sure if we're on. We're just going to talk for a minute and pretend, oh no, we are on and people are watching us.
Nice. Cool.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys. Hey Julie. Like our spontaneous entrance. Good thing we weren't, doing anything crazy in the background and not realizing we were live. How is everyone doing? Happy Monday. Becky here with myconsultantjourney.com with my special guest speaker today. I feel like it's like a, what do you call it? Like in school, like a substitute teacher?
Yeah, sorta.
You're the guest speaker coming in and schooling us, hey Grace, on keeping track of your expenses and your income. So this is something that we find that our followers find super duper helpful, but many of you are in direct sales and maybe got started, and in the beginning you like sort of kept your finances a little separate. Maybe you had like a shoebox of receipts, sitting over here. But no matter if you are brand new to direct sales or if you've been doing this for a little while, we are going to give you some quick tips and tricks to keep your finances organized. So when it comes time for taxes and year end and all of that, you are organized and you are ready to go. Hey, Leslie. And in addition to that, you kind of want to know if your business is profitable throughout the year. So one of the biggest pitfalls that I see happening in direct sales is that we are so reliant on our back office, right? So you log into your back office to see your daily sales and your monthly sales. And you are measuring your success based on milestones that you're hitting within your direct sales business or within your company, but you're not maybe looking at overall profitability. And we won't get in, like, I'm not a math person. Jeremy can say that. Like in our house, he does all the finances and I question them. But but when it comes to managing your business and your business finances, you do want to have a good pulse on if you are profitable. And at the very, very minimum, profitability is going to be your income minus your expenses.
Right.
That's it, right? So the money that comes into your bank account, taking out the money that you are putting out, right? So whether that's buying product or that's paying for a vendor fee or any other expense, paying for your SynShare membership, your Modern Direct Seller Academy membership, all of those are business expenses. And you want to make sure that you still have money in your account at the end of the day and that you are in profit mode. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen. We are going to pull up a really quick and easy download that we've created for you guys. You can get it from our website. I will link it up. It is our income and expense tracker. And this is at the very minimum. All you need to do to keep track of your finances.
Yep.
What would you suggest? People look at this like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly?
I would do it. I mean, if you can keep up with it monthly, like it's way easier if you kind of stay on top of it periodically. And I mean, it's just nice to see on a month by month basis, like how you're doing. Are you making profit? Are you, spending too much or, it's, and it's just easier. You don't want to have to get to, March of next year and you're trying to dig through all the statements and receipts and all that stuff, trying to piece it all back together.
He's laughing because if I didn't have him, that's probably what I would do. Is it would be like months later and I'd be like, I don't know, I have all these expenses and I have all of these receipts and I'm not really sure if I'm making money, but I think I am. So that's
Another quick tip.
That's why we have a guest speaker.
Before we go into that.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, open a separate bank account just for your business. Because if you have all your personal and all of your business money coming like in and out of the same checking account, it takes, way longer to separate that all out. It's a
nightmare.
And try to remember what, what's for what. And
your finance guy won't like you very much if you do things like that.
That's correct.
So side note, because there's always a side story here before we get into the real training. But we have had the same bed sheets for like years. Like, I don't know why. They're not that expensive, but like it's just never been on my priority list to go shop for new bedding. And
It's not
like,
that exciting.
no, it's not. But like the other night, I was like, I hate these sheets. Like, they're terrible. They like come off on the edge of the bed, and like there's like a part of them where you get the little like fuzzies, and I'm like, I just hate these so much. So I'm like laying in bed. It's like probably 1 a.m. and I'm like, I hate these sheets. I hate it. And I'm on Amazon and I ordered them, and Jeremy was like, you ordered them from the business credit card. I was so mad. He was like, it's the basics. Like, we train people on this. Like, you would
2 cards in the account. Take the personal one for personal stuff, the business one for business stuff.
I was tired. So now we have new sheets, you know, that the business is paying for, or we'll somehow back that out.
Yeah,
but
well, we'll fix that.
We'll fix that because we have to fix it. But yeah, so if you don't have a personal account and a business account, like, it doesn't even have to be like a legit business account. Sometimes when you go to a bank and you set up a business account, you have to show them that like you're a legit business and you have paperwork and you have like seller's permits and EINs. You don't even need to do that. Like, if you have a credit card that you use just for your business, that's a personal credit card, that's totally fine. And we've always used, I mean, we're not like affiliates or anything, but the Southwest credit card is so good. Like, we have a lot of trips waiting for us to fly across the country whenever we'll, right? But we love that credit card because you rack up those points. And especially in direct sales, if you are buying product for your customers on their behalf. So I can't tell you how many times that I would send a Square invoice to a customer, then I'd go in and I'd put their order in. You use that Southwest credit card, so you rack up those points on your business transactions, and then you get to fly for free, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
That was sure. I wasn't even gonna go there, but that was a good tip,
That's
right?
like number one before you even start. Like that'll just help you fill out the income and expense tracker. So yeah, when we first started, you know, you first had direct sales businesses, we didn't have like a actual like bank, you know, account. We had our, you know, Bank of America for our personal stuff. We had a Capital One, just like checking account that we used for all the business stuff.
Just kept them separate.
And then one credit card for personal stuff, one credit card for business stuff, and then made it so much easier.
Okay, do that first. Separate your business and personal. So when you get to this spreadsheet, you're not like, well, that was my Starbucks, and those were my groceries, and those were my kids' diapers, and there was this, and there was that. Like, all that you're looking at on your bank statement are your business transactions, not the sheets that you bought for your bed, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and share my desktop here. I just want to pull up very quickly. We're going to share screen 1, and now you can. This is our income and expense tracker. So like, we're talking basics here, you guys. Super, super basic. At the top, you have income. At the bottom, you have expenses, right?
Yep.
So tell them how this works and why this is such a helpful tool, because the categories are what going to give you like a gold star in your accountant, or at the end of the year when you do taxes, they're going to give you a gold star for the categories. So just maybe, can you talk them through the spreadsheet real quick?
Sure. Yeah. So it's, you know, it's kind of based assuming that you've got just like a regular sole proprietor type business. And it's really, the categories are only going to make sense, I'm sure, for like US based businesses. All our, you know, Australian and Canadian, the categories probably won't make sense, but you can still use the income and expense track part of it. You probably have to recategorize it for however you guys file taxes. What was your question?
We'll just walk them through it. So the date. So 2016 was a good year.
Yes, this is back when we first made this thing. So you're just plugging in the date, a little short description of what that income was. So, and these are just example transactions that are showing up in here, but you know, your weekly commission or monthly commission, whatever, what account it went into and how much it was. And then there's a drop down list here where you can pick the various categories that, you know, show up and are common on the tax forms. So
wait, do that again. Look at the little arrow drop down.
Yeah.
So can you tell them what those things are? Is there a lot of them?
Bunch.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're not sure, just make your best guess.
Well, no. So there's this tab over here called category descriptions.
This is why I'm not in charge of the finances and we have a guest speaker. I'm just going to sit back and hang out back here. You go ahead.
So yeah, so you can read through what the descriptions are of what types of items would normally go in these categories, and then just pick the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's what I said. Right?
You said guess.
Don't guess. Pick the one that makes the most sense.
The most important thing is that you're actually like keeping track of what's going in and what's going out. You know, if the categories aren't exact, I mean,
when you can fix them later, like
Yeah.
if your accountant or whoever is helping you with taxes at the year end can help you fix them.
Yeah, and we're definitely not accountants.
We're
not lawyers.
We're not.
So, we're giving you our kind of anecdotal experience about how we used to do things, but you should definitely check with your CPA or tax professional to make sure you're doing it the way that they like it.
Or just guess.
Don't guess.
Don't guess. Okay, so you're going to put in all your income at the top. So that's going to be commissions. That's going to be Square income or PayPal income, or if you're taking payments over Venmo, like anytime money is coming into your pocket, bonuses that you get, any way that you're making money, you are going to put into that top section.
Yeah, and there's not a ton of rows here. If you need to add more, you can just, highlight a section in here, right click, insert. As long as you put it in the middle, the formulas and everything will keep working. So you can add more rows if you need them. And
then do the bottom section.
Yeah, so that's it for
Just
incomes.
Guess. Don't guess, Jamie. I'm going to get in trouble.
So then for expenses, kind of similar deal. We're just going to put the date, a little description of what that expense was, what account or credit card you used to pay for that. And then we're going to put the expenses in as negative numbers. So,
here's a pop quiz. If somebody hypothetically bought bedding that was for personal use but used their business card, would you still put it as an expense here?
No, I would not, because it's not part of your business expenses. So
okay. So only put your business expenses in this section.
Yeah.
And what is a COG?
Cost of goods sold. So this is like things that are directly related to you making income. So like in the example of like when you were with Usborne Books and More, the amount we were paying to actually like get books, on consignment or whatever else it was, like those raw goods that we were going to turn around and resell, those are part of COGS.
Yes. COGS.
And then there's those are all the expense categories are also listed in that category descriptions tab.
So then when you keep scrolling down, it's going to subtotal for you. So like you'll have your income total up here. You'll have your expense total down here. Your income minus your expenses is your profit right here. And then this like summarizes for you, right?
Yeah. So this is to try to help you with like tax filing. So it's just going to go through and, sum up each of the categories you picked here. So you don't have to like go in order. You just kind of put them as they come up, and then this will go through and look at the category and then sum up each of the categories there. So
they shouldn't touch that section at the bottom.
No,
the Excel spreadsheet will do the work for you.
Right. Yep. So I'd leave this section alone.
Perfect.
And then this is just like a little check. So this is totaling this up, and then this should match this here. Otherwise, there's something wonky going on with the formula that got broken.
Yeah, and Jamie, you're right. So that's like stock items. So if you're buying product that you intend to sell, then you get to put it as a COG.
Yeah,
COGS.
the other type of stuff that we would normally put into cost of goods sold would be like your transaction fees. If you're having to pay for like Square transaction fees, anything directly related to like, selling that product, shipping fees, that kind of stuff would normally end up in cost of goods sold, I think.
Cool. Yeah, so this other tab at the bottom does have the descriptions, which gives you a little bit more of a descriptor for each of those categories.
Yeah, so all the expense categories are covered in here.
Perfect.
And then there's also like a little instructions tab that kind of goes over it too, gives you like high level. The other thing that's on here is a mileage tracker, because at the end of the year you'll get to deduct a certain amount for the number of miles you've driven, as long as you've kept a log of what miles were business miles. So there's probably a lot less of that going on right now with less like in-person events and stuff, but you still want to keep track of it so that way you can deduct it. I don't know what the rate is right now. It was, I don't know, a little over 50 cents probably. So it adds up. So
and if you want to use an app to track your miles, what do you recommend?
we use TripLog, and there's a link on the instructions tab. But there's a whole bunch out there. So yeah, we use TripLog. It's kind of cool because it'll connect to your car through Bluetooth, and then it knows like when you're in the car, and it'll automatically keep track, based on GPS, like how far you've gone. And then when you're done with your drive, it'll pop up a little window, and you can categorize if it was personal or business, and then you can go on their website and download reports and stuff. Pretty cool. Easy
Very
peasy.
Cool. Very cool. Okay, so who would you recommend to be using this spreadsheet? So, our business has grown quite a bit, so we've outgrown the spreadsheet, you could say. But if you're starting out in direct sales, if you're pretty established in direct sales, it's a great place to start, basics in terms of keeping track of your finances.
Yeah.
When do you feel like somebody's gotten it's just too much and maybe they need to move to a different system, like a QuickBooks or a different tool like that?
I don't know. There's really no set income level or anything. I think as long if you're still running as a sole proprietor business, we formed an LLC, so
it got more complicated.
Yeah, it just kind of got more complicated, and we wanted to make sure we started to go through, and when you have more transactions and stuff and you have your separate business accounts, we go through now and have to reconcile that the amounts on the statements are matching the amounts in the books. So
if your business gets so big that you have that many transactions that it's too hard to keep track of, that would be a good time, because QuickBooks will auto pull from a lot of those different sources, like Square, PayPal.
It can import from your bank account and all that kind of stuff, and then you just go in and categorize it, and then it'll generate. You can generate monthly reports or whatever time period you want, to see your profit and loss and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Just when the spreadsheet becomes cumbersome and hard to look at, if you've got thousands of lines in the spreadsheet, then it's probably going to be easier to use QuickBooks at that point. But yeah, we used that spreadsheet for the first few years that you were in direct sales. So
and then we did QuickBooks, and now we finally have somebody helping us.
Yeah.
So moving on up. When you move on up, then you don't have to keep track of it yourself, which is nice.
You just review the reports.
Yes. So Jamie, that's a super legal question. I'm not sure you're qualified to answer that. When do you recommend switching to an LLC?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all kind of based on risk, right? How much, when you form an LLC, the business is separate from you personally. When you're a sole proprietor, the business and you are kind of tied together. So when you're, when you have, built up some, I don't know, reserves, and you have, money in your bank account or assets that you need to protect, and you need to make sure you're personally, you're not going to get sued personally for something that happens on the business side. An LLC will give you some of that protection, but it's there's a cost associated with setting that up. So if you're just getting started, I wouldn't even bother with it. If if you're a few years in and you're making serious money with it, then you might want to consider it. There's other some tax advantages and stuff like that that you can gain also, but it really only once you're making decent money would you even consider it, I think.
Cool. All right. That concludes our guest speaker training today. Thanks for being on, you guys. I hope you took something from that. If anything, just make sure you don't use your... Oh, good. Perfect. We have somebody on that can help with LLCs and other entities. Jamie, connect with Jeanette.
Oh, there you go.
I'm we're not really qualified, but we can tell you what we've done in our business, right? Thanks for being on with us today. If anything, hopefully you learned not to buy bedding with your business credit card, and, keep your business separate at minimum. And once a month, go to your spreadsheet and put your numbers in. See that you're making money, right?
Don't guess. Keep track of it.
Don't guess. Everyone can hashtag that. Hashtag don't guess. That's why we brought in the guest speaker. All right, you guys. I hope you have a great Monday. We will be back with you, or I will be back with you next Monday at 3:30 on just some practical tips and training to help you get your business organized, because that's the theme for the month of August that we're sticking with is organizing your business. We talked about keeping track of customers last week, keeping track of your finances this week. Next week, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's going to be keeping, no, I do know. I could probably tell you. Next week, I'm going to talk about batching your work, and when you're using social media, how you can batch your work and get things done faster. And so you're more productive and not thinking about what to post every single day when you wake up, because that is not a good feeling. All right, you guys. Yeah, don't guess. I think Jeanette probably, she sounds pretty legit. I think she would probably agree with the don't guess. All right. Happy Monday. Talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.